with Bill Gates, right? At the end of this video, I'm going to play you a BBC clip of many of you might have seen it, of a girl with a chip in her hand answering the phone. So she puts her hand to her phone, she puts her hand to her ears, and that's the phone, that's the chip. So your phone chip is in her hand, it's been implanted in her hands. That's, for some of you, that's like, oh my God. Do you know what it is? For me, when I see that, I see tomorrow's world. There was a program called Tomorrow's World. I see tomorrow's world. When we saw Back to the Future, when what's his name? I can't remember his name now. Was on the hovercraft thing. When we saw that, we didn't think, oh my God, what a world is that going to be? We all got excited. We all thought back then that by now we'd have those on the streets. So when I see things like this, it's not too far-fetched for me. The only thing I would worry about in something like that is to make sure that there is no ulterior motive behind it. Is to make sure that somebody somewhere can't switch that chip off and then kill you, or that's you turned off like a remote control, like switch you off and that's you done. That's the only thing I would need to worry about. However, people, that is so far ahead. These people still don't even have a cure for coronavirus. And yet you're there scratching your hair out, locking your windows, battening down the hatches over a vaccine, over a chip, when there isn't even an injection for it yet. Listen, some people think that China invented this thing. I don't know anybody that will blow up a house or go to blow up a house they're having dinner in, unless you're a suicide bomber. Okay? I don't know anybody that's going to start a fight that they have no clue how that fight's going to end. Do you? I don't know anybody that's going to start a war with another country unless they thought. They might be wrong in there and it might turn out they lose, but no country starts a war with another country if they think they're going to lose, or if they're not sure of the outcome, if they think they themselves are going to die. Why am I saying this? Some people think the Chinese invented the coronavirus in a lab, and in the process of inventing this, it's leaked out. Some of it has leaked out and gone into the atmosphere. My answer to that, and it's actually a very close family member that gave me that argument, and I said to her, straightforward, listen, who do you know that will invent something and at the same time they're inventing it, will not have the antidote to it? The humankind has never done anything like that. When mustard gas was invented, they built masks so that when the Germans fired at the British and the French in the First World War, they had masks on so that only one side could die from it. That's how man thinks. If you don't believe me, ask yourself, when you go to other than a boxing match where two people are paid, that's not what I'm talking about. Two people are paid to fight. You're getting paid. You're going to think, yeah, this is my job. If I lose, I lose. At least I got paid to do this. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, or a football game. No one can, anybody can win. I'm not talking about those types of things. I'm talking about a master plan. Would you sit down and build a master plan to go into someone's house, attack them, set the house on fire, without making sure your plan includes getting out before the fire goes crazy, before the fire takes the house down? No one does that. No one. It's the same thing when you're inventing these deadly chemicals. You know what chemicals you put together to get from point A to point Z. So somewhere along the line, you will know if it goes wrong, you will know what chemicals to remove to disarm the chemical agent that you're making. So my answer to that is, if this was done in the lab, that's coronavirus, as opposed to what I believe, which is a total organic, normal, seen before way of a virus coming. a new virus being discovered. So it's passed from one animal to another, or an old virus has mutated and come back stronger. Okay? That's my belief, how this started. Some people believe it was done in a lab. So my answer to you, to those of you who think it was made up in a lab, is who do you know makes chemical A, B, C with chemical D, K, Z, and not know that if you take out the Z and the A, it becomes weak. And therefore, just take the A and the Z and mix with J and P, and you can then cure that. Who do you know would do that and not have a cure for it? But one thing we do know is there is no cure. Because if there was a cure, people, whatever country had a cure for corona right now, do you know how much money they'll be making from it? Why would they want to keep it a secret? Why would they not want to put it out on the market and market it and sell it to every country in the world right now? When you ask yourselves that, that deals with that question. Why did I go on to that topic? Because the cure for that, people have linked with a vaccine and then linked with a chip. Total crap. Okay? They don't even have a cure yet. So why the hell are you worrying yourself about, I'm not going to have a vaccine if they tell me to have a vaccine? And then you're not even thinking that there isn't even an injection or a tablet. We don't even have a tablet you can take for this thing. They're testing chemicals. They're testing the old malaria type treatment, medicine. There's no point giving you the names because I don't want to mix up anything for some people. Okay, they're testing an old medicine that we used to use to cure, or that was invented to cure malaria, that works very well with malaria, and they think it might work with this, because with malaria you get a type of fever and a flu, but it's much stronger. It cures malaria. It's too powerful for flu, so they wouldn't use it on flu. They would use it on malaria because malaria is up there while flu is down here. So it's a higher level of a flu, so they use that to attack malaria. They're thinking that is what will work, but that already existed. So they're trying that on live people now. However, the proper cure for it, every developed country is racing right now for it. And I tell you something, the minute they have it, you're going to know. Do you know why you're going to know? Because they want to make money from you. If I had the genius to invent the cure to this thing right now, I too, rather than making these videos, I'll be stuck in my lab upstairs in my loft making the product. Okay? So no, there is no vaccine yet. When the vaccine comes along, or the discussions of it, we'll come back and speak again. As of now, let's focus just on the tablet or the medicine for it, which they still don't have yet. It's not there yet. Why are you rushing and praying and saying the Lord's Prayer repeatedly? Because you think they're going to chip you and they're going to put vaccine in you and that's going to curb the human race and depopulate the world. Why are you going to do that? Pay attention to the news and you'll see they don't even have a tablet for it yet. We don't. Okay? The last thing I want to address along these lines is the fact that this chip that we are all infatuated about, they've told you that this is the new world order, this is going to happen. Let me tell you something. I will play at this point, okay, a video by Magic Johnson, just so you can correlate reality from fiction. You can separate reality from fiction. So I'm going to stop for a minute, watch this video, and I'll be back at the end of the video. See you in a minute.
Magic, I want to ask you something that Anderson brought up earlier, and I'm just curious how you think through this. When you think about HIV/AIDS, in the beginning, there weren't any proven therapies, no proven medications, and yet there was a real desire, real need for them, a real clamoring for them, understandably, because people were dying. This is a different sort of pandemic, as Anderson mentioned, but some of those same tones seem to be here as well. We want to rush this through because people are dying. Let's just try anything. And obviously there's concerns. There could be side effects. There could be real concerns. But how do you think about that, Magic?
Well, when I first announced HIV almost 30 years ago, there was only one drug, ACT, at that time. And now there's over 30 drugs, right? And so now people can really live a healthy life because of those drugs. And I think here with this coronavirus, hopefully we can find some drugs that will prolong life, and that we got to make sure first, though, every American can get a test, can get tested, because right now there's a shortage of tests. So people want to get tested, but they can't find a test kit. So that's also a problem too. So the reason my life, I'm still living, is because early detection. I had a test, I had a physical, it came up that I had HIV, and that saved my life. And so people want to get tested. Until they get tested, people won't be comfortable, because that's going to tell them whether they have this virus or not.
Let me ask some follow.
Now you're back. You can see that Magic Johnson has been through something like this. There was a time when there was no AIDS vaccine, AIDS treatment, and then they came out bit by bit by bit. Those who were spreading rumors at the time was warning people against it. Look at Magic Johnson. He's alive 30 years after he's had AIDS. If man do not move to make vaccines and medicine to cure these things, my friends, we will all suffer greatly. I am not here saying be blind and be led blindly. That's not my story. And that's not my advice. My advice, all I'm advising people, is stay informed. If you stay informed, you're not easily fooled. If you have a blank sheet of paper, anybody can walk on it and fill your mind with stuff. No, we do not have a vaccine as yet for it. So my friends, relax. I'll tell you when they've brought the vaccine out. If you're not paying attention yourself, I will. I'm not taking this platform down because people need it. I've been getting a lot of thanks from people for what I'm doing at the moment. So there is no vaccine yet, please, my friends. Relax. And also relax, because there isn't even a cure yet. But that should not make you relax. You should be keeping your fingers crossed and praying that some country comes up with this solution sooner rather than later to save many, many more lives. AIDS, as you can see, was a problem. What's going on in America right now is killing people. Misinformation is killing people. Did you know this is diabolical? And I'm going to put the clip up for you to have a look. Did you know that the Florida's governor, a governor of a state who's a Republican governor. If you've been watching my videos, you know the difference between Republicans and Democrats is that Republicans are conservatives in the US and Democrats are Labor in the US. The Labor states have been locked down. They're taking this thing seriously. It's not a hoax to them. You've got the Republicans on the other side who are thinking this is a hoax and it's all a joke to them. They are telling people to go out in churches. Their states, there's still 10 states. Some Republican states are shut down, but there's still states, 10 states that are not on lockdown. Florida has locked down its schools. However, the state's still open. So they locked down the schools and they feel fine. This guy is talking about opening the schools after Easter, when America is still doing this. Remember, Italy's plateaued. UK is still doing this. France is still doing this. Spain and Italy have plateaued and they're now on a downward curve. America, if the mountains here, America is not even here yet. They're way here. They still got all this way to go to then plateau for days, if not weeks, before they start coming down. And this guy is talking about reopening the schools when they're on the upward curve. Okay, in Florida, you know what his reasons was? He says he hasn't seen any data that this has killed anyone below 25 years old. Do you see how someone in Florida who only watches Fox News, the lying channel, do you see how someone in Florida can end up dead by next week? Just by that type of information. We all know People under 25 have been dying on this. This guy believes telling his people in his state misinformation is killing in the US and is killing badly, right? And it's not just that. The state of Tennessee, my friends, the state of Tennessee has a democratic governor, because in America, again, the states run like the federal government. So you've got a parliament in each state. So you've got House of Lords and House of Representatives, for example. But there's these senators and House of Representatives. So you've got the two houses, and then you've got the executive person, like the governor. You got those two things. And when it elects, they're separate elections. So you got the parliament election is separate to the governor. So you can have a Democratic governor who's like a Labour governor, while you could have the whole House of Commons and Lords is full of Republicans, conservatives. So because it's one of the red states, it's what we call the middle America, is where Trump's support is big. These guys, that's all they know is Trump, yeah? Do you know that the Democratic governor, the Labour governor in Tennessee, locked the state down by executive order? Because he knew that she knew that if she went through parliament, they will vote it out. So which presidents and governors are allowed to do, is something called executive power. That means they're invoking this right they have to put this order on the people, and they're not going to confer with parliament. They're not going to ask for parliament's permission to get it done. She put an executive order and locked the state down. In Tennessee, the House of Representatives and the Senate are taking this woman to the Supreme Court of Tennessee. They're fighting her order so that their state can stay open and more people die. Guys, the more you're informed, the least likely you are to vote a leader who could send you to your death. The more you're informed, the least likely you are to vote somebody who has no right to be leading any sort of group of people at a time of crisis like this. I mean, these people have seen how China got rid of it, right? They saw how Italy is now coming lower. They see now France is now coming down. They see Germany didn't suffer a lot. Do you know why? Germany was so efficient, like Germans are all the time. Germany hit this thing back in January. They topped up on their reserves. They were testing people. They were doing so much very early on, right, that they got ahead of it. By the time it got to them, they were well ahead of the game. So when you've seen all these countries with only two patterns we've seen, the Chinese pattern, which is the same as Italian, and us, which is lockdown, social distancing, let it pass, everyone come back out. The German, with German efficiency, which I always have to take my hat off to them, the Germans had a different pattern, which is, oh gosh, this might hit us. Let's go way ahead of the race and block it before it gets to us. That worked, and the other system worked. The other system, which is what we have, a lot of people lost lives, but it saved them more lives than was lost. German lost very few. The Americans are watching this. The Democratic governors are doing the right thing. The Republican governors are still thinking this is a hoax, it's nothing to do with us, and the people are dying in droves. People, I want to sign off by saying something to you guys. I want you guys to start paying attention to what's going on in the world. Right now, our situation in the world as a whole is worse because of the way the world has evolved since 2016. When Obama was in power, when the Ebola situation happened, the world was together. Think back to 2014. The world was together, right? The British Red Cross, David Cameron sent people, Obama sent people, they set up camps, they set up hospitals, they were treating people on there. The Western citizens in these countries who were helping, who caught it, were sent back home isolated immediately, treated back in their home countries. But we had our foot and our expertise and our knowledge on the ground in these countries, Liberia and all these countries where it broke out at the time, Congo and these places where it broke out at the time. Since 2016, something has been happening that you guys ain't paying attention to. Since Trump went America first, America first, America first, we've also gone Britain only, Britain only, Britain only. Poland has gone just us, the Polish, no one else. The Hungarians have gone just us, Hungary, no one else. Stay over there. We're part of the EU, but we're all for ourselves. The Philippines, Brazil, Australia, Austria as well. Let me give you and India. Let me give you a list of countries that fit into this category that I'm talking about. You've got Hungary, you've got Austria, Brazil, India, Philippines, the mad guy in Philippines that's killing people for selling drugs and just says what he likes. He's locked down. He ordered his troops and police. If anyone refuses to go indoors, when you tell them, shoot them on sight. That's who's running Philippines right now. Poland, okay? Now, then add China and Russia, who always was like that anyway. We now have a lot of Western countries who literally are going it solo. So we now have a completely solo world, okay? A completely solo thinking world. Why am I talking about this? If we had a together world, my friends, you know what would have happened? When this thing would have leaked out in China, even when they told the Chinese, the world would have come together and build up one defense system, one defense plan to protect, to encircle the whole world and insulate the whole world from this situation. What they didn't do was that. So everybody was out for themselves. That is killing people right now, my friends. That's killing a lot of people right now. Let me finish on this side of things by saying to you guys, there is a leader out there that I truly, truly, truly admire. And I wish that all prime ministers and all presidents was like this lady. Her name is Jacinda Ardern. She is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. I want every one of you to start paying attention to how she rules and how she does things. When the Muslims were killed in a church, in the mosque by an Australian nut, right-wing nut, right? And he slaughtered those people and he put it on social media and everything else. The way she dealt with that, dressing up in Muslim attire, dealt with them with empathy, cried for them. She was the first to refuse to mention this person's name on the press, hence you don't even see his name anywhere. Yesterday she done a news conference because of lockdown and it was so touching. And her news conference was not for me and you, it's for your children. So she got up on the podium. Imagine Boris Johnson getting up on the podium to talk to the nation, but he's talking to just the children. And she says to them, I just want to tell you that the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny are right now on lockdown. However, they are still working, but they also have their own families who also need them at this time, just like mommy and daddy need you as well. So you might get some bits and pieces, but it just might be a different year for you. But I'm sure the Easter Bunny, right, and I'm sure the Easter Bunny will be thinking about you. Now, who does that? What leader have you ever seen do that? I'm smiling because it warms my heart. And I hope and I pray that leaders of the world turn out like this lady. She is the type of leadership that I'm hoping this world becomes off the back of this. People, this thing's real. I know there are many more questions to come out of this topic, today's topic. Send me your emails. If there's anything I didn't touch on, send me. There is a lot to talk about this particular issue. I just can't do it all in one video because it'd be too long. So call this a part 1. We'll do a part 2. If you guys got anything you want to send me by email, like I said, it's anthonyspencer1067@gmail.com. Send me your emails if there's anything I didn't touch on that you want me to touch on regarding Bill Gates, regarding the vaccination, regarding anything else. But like I said, relax. Don't do your heads in on these things you see flying around. Okay? The cure, the pill, or the tablet isn't even here yet. So how the hell are you worrying about vaccines, for God's sakes? Have a fantastic Easter. One piece of advice to those of you in America who might see this: a family member sending some crap around about there is a march on the 25th, beg your pardon, on the 12th, which is Sunday, on Easter Sunday, in the States somewhere, that people should march and protest the lockdown, and it's illegal. Firstly, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, because nothing a government can do is technically can be legal, especially if they pass a law to do it. What's illegal? Illegal means it's against the law, right? So if a government passes a lockdown law, how can it be legal? So those of you in America who watch this, don't waste your time. March against the states that aren't locking down. They're the ones killing people. March against the states that aren't locking down. March yourselves to the red states, to Tennessee, to Florida, to Texas. Any states that aren't locked down, that's where you should be marching. Lockdown saved your lives. Thank you for listening to me. Enjoy your Good Friday. Enjoy Easter. And we'll be back tomorrow. And our topic tomorrow is going to be about the New World Order. Remember, I am looking out for emails from yourselves telling me what you think the New World Order means. And I'll read those emails out on my video and I'll answer the questions. I'll tell you what I think about it. At the end of my show, I'll put on a 5 minutes, maybe 7-10 minutes part of just reading our emails and answering to those emails direct. So that we're able to do 2 videos tomorrow. We'll do the video, my normal blog, and then we'll do a second blog, a short one, just to deal with your emails. So send me those emails and I'll respond to them. What do you think the New World Order means? Okay? Thank you very much. Now, look at this video at the end of this and we'll discuss later. In the meantime, remember, this is where the truth is told. Thank you for watching The Full 100 by myself, Anthony Spencer. Have a fantastic Easter. Pray for all those in hospital. Pray for all those who have passed away, their friends and their families. And look after yourselves and stay home. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Will you call me?
Sorry?
Will you call me?
You mean telephone? Yeah?
Yes.
When?
Now.
But you're sitting right here.
This is why I wanted to have lunch. You just phone me? Now? Hello, Bethany speaking.
Hello?
You phoning for Bethany?
Yes. What are you doing?
This is Bethany. Can you hear me?
Well, you're right in front of me.
But can you hear me down the phone?
Oh my God.
This is me. On the phone, I had it implanted. My hand is the phone. I can walk and talk because I'm on the phone inside my hand. I am the phone. This is what phones are going to be from now on. I have integrated. Thank you for your call. Subdermal implants. They charge themselves with motion like a self-winding watch. And it's on the 22 network. I get signal across 95% of UK mainland, 98 by next year.
When I phoned you, it was ringing. You were ringing.
That's the speaker. So small.
Okay, but when did you get this done?
That course in Winchester, I had one finger done every night. I still need to use a handset to phone out. Look.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay, but look, I can't believe you had surgery without telling me.
Skin plants, not surgery, and I knew you'd be cross. But I'm 18, and you had that tattoo when you were 18, and it's the same sort of thing. And I wanted to ask you, will you do me a favor?
What?
Will you tell Dad?
Oh, sweetheart.
Please, will you tell Dad for me?